Okay, I hope this is recording. Yeah, I think so. Alright, I will be clicking around, so if you hear clicking around, yeah, that's what's gonna happen, you know. But I don't know what this is. This might go up on a different channel. Who knows? I don't know. But the reason why I wanted to make this or talk about this is because Quavo just died. Like yesterday. Today's the 1st. He died yesterday. And the amount of tweets that I've seen, rest in peace, blah, blah, blah. Yes, very sad that he died. But the amount of tweets I've seen where people are also saying, oh, and rest in peace to all our people, black people, you gotta stop shooting each other, you gotta stop doing this to each other. With his death tweet, is very weird to me. I don't like that. Just say rest in peace. You could put that message out there another time, but the initial rest in peace should just be a rest in peace. The adding of the and our people need to stop doing this and this and this annoyed me. And I know I'm getting like right into this, but it's what I'm thinking of and what I just saw. So yeah, that's why. Not only that, but the amount of discussion going on every time someone black dies, that's a rapper, that's popular in the black community for anything, they always say, and this needs to stop, black people. You guys need to stop doing this to each other. But save that. And also the people that tweet that, if you look at their recent tweets, they don't even talk about that. They're not even talking about that in their recent tweet. That's like not a thing they do regularly, you know? Like Killer Mike, if you look at like his tweets before he said rest in peace, Takeoff, and my brothers gotta stop doing this to each other, his other tweets were like music stuff and everything. It's like a lot of these people, and Killer Mike might have been a bad example, he does talk about that a lot, but at the same time he needs to just get back to making good music, honestly. You know, what are they called? Well, I forgot. They're who is he a part of? He's a part of this group with this other guy that I like. Well, actually like more. LP. Him and LP. I actually don't listen to Killer Mike's music outside of the band name. I forget. Who? Oh, man. LP and Killer Mike are in a band called something. Whatever it is. LP's better. The other guy's better. Killer Mike's a mid rapper, honestly. They're a lot better. The point is, too many people are talking about Takeoff and how the black community needs to stop doing this to each other, please. Yeah, okay. But those tweets can come later. Just say rest in peace, Takeoff, and then that's good. You don't need anything else. The amount of conversation that is happening strictly because Takeoff died, a rapper died, and a black person died in a violent way, it's just, it sucks because you don't even get, because he died at such an improper time. He died at such a bad time, unfortunately, that he can't even die, you know, rest in peace, and then get a proper just like, you know, oh man, rest in peace. Sorry about that. It has to be a discussion. It has to be the start of some discussion about whatever, you know, who knows. Yeah, the amount of things popping up, oh, guns, this and that, and this and that. Just do a rest in peace and have that conversation later, not at the same time, under the same thread, I was going to say, but under the same conversation of just this guy dying. He was just a beloved rapper. A lot of people liked him, and he passed away in an unfortunate accident, you know? Yeah, well, accident, you know, it was a stray bullet. The accident, by accident, I mean, he got hit by a stray bullet. He did get into a fight. They were arguing. So when someone dies in an accident, unfortunately, even my own dad said this, it's never an accident. You know, if you're getting into an argument with somebody, wherever, you at a bowling alley, playing a dice game, wherever the fuck you're doing, if you get into an argument, there is no accident after that. You know, when you get into a fight, there are no more accidents. That's why manslaughter, voluntary manslaughter, whatever those are, that's why those are all things. Because when you get into a fight, there are no accidents. So getting, you know, all these people saying, oh, it was an accident, getting hit by a stray bullet is sucks and does, I guess, kind of count as an accident. But really, that's not really what happened. He but these rappers, they get into arguments and shit over like a couple grand, when in reality they should be paying at least 50 a year for constant security. You know why you never hear stuff like this with like people like Kanye? Oh my god, Kanye, I'll get into that in a second too. He's in this too, I want to talk about. But the whole point is, the Takeoff conversation, number one, needs to just be a rest in peace conversation with him. That's it. The talk of everything else, societally around him, yes, that does affect it. But guess what? A lot of black teens who aren't as famous as Takeoff die the same way in bullshit arguments because they all have guns on their waist. Illegally, by the way. I mean, I don't know if allegedly he had an illegal gun. I assume most people who aren't security guards have an illegal gun. Now, maybe him, Takeoff, Takeoff and Quavo, they're together. Probably they had legal guns. I feel like they have the money, they have the status. They can't really be walking around with illegal shit. So probably they had legal guns. Their guns were legal. Most likely. I mean, it would really blow my mind if they were like, oh yeah, and they all had illegal guns. Like, at this point, they should be, they have enough money and wherewithal and knowledge of the world to where they needed to have a legal gun. It would really surprise me if they were walking around like that. But a lot of other people they're hanging out with probably don't. Some random motherfucker at the bowling alley or wherever they were, I'm sure his gun wasn't legal. All these people. So he died in an unfortunate way, but that's not even unique to him. The amount of people that have died that way sucks, and the amount of people that die that way every day is terrible. Now, what's the point of this? Why am I saying that, him and a lot of people other died? A lot of other people died. It's because that conversation happens, about guns and black people and this and that. Doesn't happen when someone else, some other random person, and I could choose a place in America dies. That doesn't happen with them. That only happens when a famous person dies, which sucks. But at the same time, I also don't like that. Leave the rest in peace. You guys should have this conversation already, and we do all the time. Constantly. What needs to happen is that this conversation happens when it happens to everybody. When your average person on the street dies, then have this conversation. But it doesn't happen. It only happens when someone famous dies. That's when this happens. So that was sad, and that happened. That just made me think of that. All these tweets, and it comes from regular people too, not even famous people. It's like, oh, my black people need to stop doing that. It's like, dude, just say rest in peace and go tweet that shit out somewhere else. Let's not have this conversation after someone dies. Have it normally. But no, it only happens after someone dies, unfortunately. So, yeah, that happened. What else? Well, yeah, what I was gonna say, yeah, and what's crazy? Immediately after, you could look up real pictures of him dying. Real pictures, not dying, but real pictures of the aftermath, the immediate aftermath. Immediately, like, you could just look them up. They're there, which sucks. You don't want to see that, but unfortunately, they're out there. Places like 4chan have them and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not good. People who immediately go and see the pictures is I am clicking to see. It sucks. Let's just say that it sucks. Him dying sucks. The conversation around him dying sucks. The way he died sucks. It's all bad. Now, along with that comes Kanye. Kanye does have a place in this conversation, unfortunately. He should not have a place in any conversation anymore. Annoying. Purely just not even for what he says, just how annoying he fucking is. That's why Kanye needs to stop, because he's just annoying, he's just annoying. And he's also had the news cycle for the last 2 months. Aren't we tired of, like, I get people are mad at Kanye for what he said, but it's crazy to me that he's kept the attention of anyone for this long. The fact that we all haven't just canceled Kanye for just being too annoying is amazing. He's just all over. I'm just tired of him. Who cares what he says? It's the fact that he's taken up the goddamn news cycle for the last 2 months, as if there's nothing else going on when there is. And he just has. Talking about conspiracies, talking about Jewish people, talking about this and that. He talks, and never gives out real advice. And this is what people, I feel like, don't understand or don't see it, or just losing focus on that. It's Kanye talks all this shit, mad shit, and constantly and consistently gives out nothing, gives nothing back. Every time Kanye talks, it's this and that and this and that. He gives a list of companies that have heads of that have Jewish people as heads of it. He gives a list of conspiracies. He gives a list of reasons why they want to silence him. And by the way, he's not being silenced. Anyone who thinks he's being silenced he's been able to say whatever he's wanted to for the past who knows how long. Every podcast is letting him out. He's not being silenced. So no more of that. He's not being silenced. But the fact that he keeps giving out these lists of good, bad, good people who have helped him out, bad people who have helped him out. By the way, along his journey, Kanye's journey, I won't call him his other name because he shows no respect to anyone else. So I don't know why the fuck he wants us to show respect to his name. Okay. Kanye West, okay, has been helped by the same people he's hating his whole career. From maybe not from the music, I will give him that. A lot of music, all the music he did for himself, from himself. He didn't have help with that. There was no other people in that. His music is one thing, but on the business side, Kanye has been helped by the exact people he's making fun of. And making fun of, what am I talking about? Fucking like being terrible to, Sorry for the beeping outside. He, along his way, right when he started selling clothes, okay, right when he wanted to get into that game, the people he borrowed money from are Jewish. The people he is yelling at these companies are the same people that helped him. The executives he's calling out are the same, not the same, but the same type of executives that helped him. He's been helped so many times. The fact that Adidas gave him as much control as they did, and the fact that Gap, all these companies have helped him along the way get to where he is with collaborations and literally making him the creative head of his own Yeezy company, by the way, which he still owns the name of. He still owns the name of it. He left after all this, and he still owns the name of it. Okay, he got so many royalties off his shoes and his clothes, and he still owns the name of it. And he's acting like they didn't give him anything. When they did, they gave him so much, but he wanted full control, and so he left. But he left in the worst fucking way possible by just saying all these things that I don't even think he believes. I don't think he believes. And the reason why I don't think he believes it is because he shows no continuous thought. He shows no continuous thought. He shows all these lists, and they're all all over the place. None of them are coherent, and nothing is coherent. His last album wasn't even coherent. Okay, it's just random shit. It's just random shit he's saying. He said he was going to be the first Latino. No one should care what he's saying. And I hate to be that guy, because I've heard people say, oh, well, why are we even listening to Kanye? And I hate to say that because I used to really like him. I still do. But it mostly his music. That's the thing about this whole thing. It's like, I like his music. I don't think I've ever been a Kanye West personality fan. I mean, the antics, I guess, were entertaining for a little bit. Well, who here has been a Kanye West himself as a person fan? I feel like they're the only people who are like on his subreddit constantly. I don't know. You don't even know Kanye as a person. I don't know there's no one out there who knows Kanye as a person. Like a fan wise, we don't. Even if you love Kanye and you've gone on his subreddit and you've gone every facet of his, you still don't know his personality. Even if you dissected all his lyrics, dissected every relationship he's had, this and that, you still don't know him as a person. You still don't know him in real life. So all these people are like, yeah, I'm still with Kanye. I'm still with Kanye. You don't know this person, dude. You don't know Kanye. You have no idea, okay? But it's funny because it's like, you don't know him. You don't know Kanye. He doesn't know you. You don't know him. Parasocial relationship, unfortunately, with someone who makes really good music. And that's where it gets weird. There's no other artists out there. Well, maybe some country artists. People love country artists. Also, I'm surprised more country artists don't talk like... I'm surprised Kanye West is the one talking like that. It used to be... I mean, out of all the artists, I never thought Kanye would go down like this. Not that he's even going down. He'll probably be fine. Even though he talks bad about black people still support him. I don't, but other people do. Yeah, I can hear what's outside too. It's okay. Someone's just slamming something. But the point is, you don't know him. It's like any YouTuber, you don't know him in real life. You don't know him. Oh, Kanye's kids, they're taking his kids away. You don't know him. You don't know what's happening in his personal life. Oh, but Kanye said his kids, this and that, and they're taking it. Oh, Kim, oh my God, he's brainwashing the truth. You have no idea what's actually happened in his personal life. His family's lives, his personal life, you have no idea. People act like Kanye's like, yeah, Kanye, I love him, blah, blah, blah. He's talking, I'm with him. He's talking the right shit. He's not talking the right shit. Number one, if you're black, he's talking shit against you. Not even recently, just years in the making. He's been talking shit about black people slowly but surely. Okay, that's number one. So as a people, black people, you really shouldn't even be supporting Kanye West at this point. He's been talking shit about you multiple times. He still is, and yet you still support him. But when he starts talking shit about other people, they don't take it. That's the real thing about this. Is like everyone thinks there's a conspiracy, there's this and that happening. When in reality, I think it's just black people as a whole have turned a blind eye to what Kanye West has said. And we just let it go. When other people don't. That's what I think it comes down to. I think it comes down to just, he said what? Fuck him. And those people had the resources to actually fuck him. Most people don't. But we could by just not listening to his music, but no one can do that. Because you want the clicks, you want everything, you want to talk about it, you want this and that. You can't just say no to Kanye West music. That's why we can't have good things. We can't have good things as a people because most people aren't rich and don't have the resources to really, if a famous person is like, you know what, I'm going to say this, this, and this, and then you say, well, I don't want to support him, they'll still probably be rich, right? Now, if you are a rich person with a lot of resources and you say, I really don't like this person, you have the resources to actually hurt them. The problem is, when you don't have those resources, there's only a handful of things you could do to not support someone you don't like. And as a collective, because of how popular Kanye West is, none of us can just say no to supporting him. I mean, I can, I am, but most people don't, because you don't want to be the one out, the one who says, oh, I don't support Kanye, but everyone around you is, and so you don't want to be left out. That's the fear of most people. You just don't want to be left out. It's comfortable just saying, all right, fine, I'll listen to it and I'll talk about it. but I don't like it. Well, if you don't like it, don't support it. But not enough people follow that. If you don't like it, don't support it. Not enough people follow that. And it's unfortunate. It sucks. I wish more people did, but most people don't. What was I saying about him with the list? Right. The list. Excuse me, I have to drink something. Now, he constantly talks shit and gives a list of executives and people and this and that and this and that. You know what he never gives a list of? Hey, let me give you an example. Kanye West will say, these are the people on top. These are people who wouldn't help me get my own company. By the way, if you're one of those complete idiots who was actually helping Kanye West become a billionaire because he himself got fucked his own self out of a deal and lost money, and now you're helping a once billionaire just be more rich, you're a complete idiot. If you're someone who actually believed Kanye West was 50 million in the hole back then, you're a complete idiot. If you believe Kanye West is different than any other rich person, you're an idiot. None of that shit is true. None of that shit is true. He is no different than any other rich person. He isn't. He thinks poorly of poor people. He thinks down on people, rich people who are just less rich than him. He literally said it to Piers Morgan. Do you have as much money as me? No, then just shut up. He said that to multiple people. Let me just say that Kanye West is no different than any other rich person. He may used to be different, but he's changed. And my people, oh, well, he's having a mental blah, blah, blah. It's been too long. People go through mental breaks. I do believe that. Okay, that's not the problem. The problem with Kanye is that it's not a mental break at this point. It's not. It's been too many years. He's planned too many things. I heard someone say, oh, it was a mental thing. He's just going through it. Like when he showed up to Skechers, and it was just a crazy break in his mind. No, that's not what a crazy break is. A crazy break would be Kanye randomly showing up to sneakers, going in and yelling, I want someone to take this deal. I need a deal so I could, let me show you my idea, please, blah, 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 blah. You're not Jewish, so I'll be able to work with you. That's what that's a mental break. That's a mental break. What isn't a mental break is Kanye planning to go to Skechers, showing up with full Yeezy, full Yeezy head to toe, with a film crew that he paid, and planned to also show up for a documentary he's filming, coming into the Skechers headquarters, getting brought up in an elevator and talking to them for, I forgot how long it was, but then they escorted him out. That's not a mental break. That's a planned talking to. Okay, when you have a mental break, you don't go, oh my God, okay, I know what I'll do. And then sit down and plan a documentary, hire a film crew, get a date, find out where Skechers is. That's not a mental break. That's a planned media coverage for other people, the news that covered it, and for himself. I don't understand why, for some reason, we think Kanye isn't doing this on purpose. I don't understand. I don't understand. At this point in the world, and at this point of us having the internet and seeing the shit people do for clout, for all that, and people go, oh, well, Kanye doesn't need clout. Kanye is just like every other famous person, every other musician. Musicians do shit for clout. It is what it is. Kanye's no different, because what would he be doing if he wasn't? If Kanye wasn't in the news right now, what would he be doing? Let's think about that for a second. Here's why he's not different. I'll give you a great example. What would he be doing if he wasn't doing this right now? If he wasn't in the news cycle, what would he be doing? If you didn't hear from Kanye, think, what would he be doing? He would be making music. And he would be advertising his music. But what is he doing? He's doing this. And what is this all a big ad for? Easy. He's shopping around Yeezy. He's telling everyone this deal fell through because they're this and they're that. None of it, number one, he has not taken blame from any of it. It's always the other company. The other person. The other person that fucked him. It's never him. It's not Kanye for wanting too much control in a company that he didn't even make. And that makes plenty of money without him. And all you people who think, oh, well, oh my God, they're not selling Yeezy anymore? Oh, then they're going to... No, they won't. They were fine before. They will be fine now. Every shoe company will be fine without Yeezy. Every shoe company will be fine without Yeezy. And if you think that's not true, you need to grow up. You're probably a little too young. Every shoe company will be fine without Yeezy. They'll be okay. Adidas will be okay. They'll all be good. Okay? The problem comes when, number one, he takes no responsibility for himself for wanting too much. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Yeezy makes this amount of money. Blah, 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 blah. Why doesn't he, he should get more. You don't know the ins and outs of that company. You haven't seen the tax returns and whatnot. You don't know how good he actually makes that company. Okay? You have no idea. You have no idea the analytics of how much Kanye brings in, how much without him, would leave him. You have no idea. So saying, oh, well, he brings in this much, you have no idea. You have no idea. So all these people saying, well, he brings in this much, they don't know because they're not in the room. They're not executives. They have no idea. Kanye is just doing this for free publicity for himself. And people go, oh, well, why would he say such bad things? This isn't publicity. People hate him. Are you insane? Are you not in the world we live in? You know how many people come up and get popular off of hate? The amount of famous people that we've all just hated and are still very popular and rich and become more popular and rich is crazy. Kanye West has the means to get through this hate. Oh, well, he wouldn't be doing this because he's just saying stuff. He's saying all this bad stuff about Jewish people. Why would this be his way of saying why his way of getting publicity by doing? Are you not? Famous people thrive off hate. Them being hated is so much better than just doing something good, donating a bunch of money, and everyone's saying, oh, great. Not only does hate stay in your mind, but it stays in the news cycle for much longer. Kanye West, like I said, has had the news cycle for the past 2 months. Excuse me, of just straight Kanye. That's all it is. But now, sorry. Okay, sorry, I got a text. Let me by now. Oh, okay, sorry. That was a Slack. Sorry, I thought it was more important than it was. That was a Slack message from my college class at 9 p.m. 9 p.m., dude. You should not be messaging your students at 9 p.m. with homework updates. Like, save it for fucking tomorrow. Why are you even on the clock? It's 9 p.m. Go to bed. Go to bed. You're a teacher, so go to bed. Teachers' bedtimes are like 10 o'clock. That's a teacher's bedtime, and you're messaging your student at 9:30 at night when I'm recording this. Go to bed. Do that shit in the morning. God, a Slack? Are you kidding me, dude? A Slack message at 9? What did this actually say? Fucking teachers annoy the hell out of me. Let me see this again. What did this actually say? Yeah, this is a okay, so it's a message about him saying your projects have been graded. You should have shared that for tomorrow morning. And I get it's one text and it just goes up, but you should have saved that. But maybe you just got finished grading, who knows. 9:30 is a weird time to message all your students. That's all I'm saying. What was I getting back to? Teachers annoy the fuck out of me. I mean, I like teachers. but goddamn, teachers have fucked me for years. Starting in middle school with math, teachers have really turned my life into some bullshit when it comes to education. Okay, when it comes to education, teachers in my early life have fucked me completely. They really have. I know that sounds aggressive, but it's true. They've just been terrible. Okay, I'm telling you, it started with math, and then it just all went downhill from there. Is anyone else bad with math? I would love to know. Is anyone as bad as math with me? I mean, I literally don't think I can add numbers up sometimes. I think like it stops at about like multiples of 100. Multiples of 100. You know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, maybe it goes farther than that, but you get what I'm saying. It's bad. The education system has failed me, even though I was what's crazy is I was in a great education system. Like, I have yet to be in a bad education system. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't grow up in a bad area, in a nice area. I grew up in the cheapest apartment in a very nice area. Right? I had great education. Still failed it. And you know why? Because I just didn't want to go. I was always with the bad kids only because the things I was doing was quote unquote considered bad behavior. But my bad behavior was not doing homework and not showing up to class. So I was in with people with like actual behavioral problems for like hitting people and getting into fights when I was younger. And it's all the way up to high school. I was always in that group. But my bad behavioral problems was sitting at home playing Far Cry instead of going to school. And so when I would go to school, they're like, you didn't show up. And like, that was my bad behavior, sitting at home playing Far Cry. And not doing homework, and I'm in there with fucking kids who brought scissors to school and threatened a goddamn teacher. It sucks. Yeah, the whole school system, it's almost like a prison system. System of a down. We don't need to do. Well, I might do a whole podcast one day, maybe, of just how terrible our education system is, even if you're in a good one. Fucking sucks. One time my dad was like, you're in that. He goes, I told him I was in this, what they called it a couple names, you know, when you're in a class that's only for people that either failed or you're a bad kid, who knows. And when I told him, you know, it's different across the country. I've met people who've called it many different names, like I can't even think of what I call. I'm trying to remember. There are different names for bad classes. Every school has one. When I told him I was in one of these classes, behavioral problem, you know, for kids with behavioral problem, he goes, "What? Your teachers put you in that? I bet they put that in there because you know why? Because you're black. I bet that's why." I said, "What? You think they did that just because I'm black?" It's like, yeah. I go, but I failed. If I had gotten A's, I just wouldn't be here. It has nothing to do with me being black. Every kid in there has failed something. That's the point. If I passed, I just wouldn't, you know, it has nothing to do with me being black. I just failed something. But I never forget that line of thinking. And he goes, well, even if you pass, I bet they wouldn't want you to be in those classes. And that's, to go back to the Kanye thing, and that's a mentality I feel like a lot of people share and really need to change. They don't want you here because you're this. They don't want you there because you're this. I think that mentality kind of needs to change, because the problem with that mentality is that you're thinking that of yourself, you know. And I hate to say that, but as I grew up and as I've taken more than one psychology class, that's right, baby. More than one, multiple psychology classes. General ed classes, to be fair. None of it has to do with like an actual degree, but it's okay. But because I've taken multiple of those classes, I could tell you that, and I hate to say this about my own dad, but he's saying that because he thinks that of himself. That's where that comes from. When you say, oh, they don't want you here because you're black, that's actually your own mind, your own insecurities. Because think about it. If you weren't insecure about that, and say, when your kid does come up to you and say they put me in the bad class, and you say they put you there because you're black, that's what you're thinking of yourself, without even hearing how many classes I failed, how many classes I skipped, how many meetings with my counselor I skipped. Before my dad even heard any of that, his first thought was, they put you there because you're black. That's like terrible thinking to give to a kid. The only reason I don't think like that is because my mom didn't think like that. So, at least I had one parent that didn't constantly think race was the problem. And I mean that whenever anything bad happened, race was the problem. And that's why I think Kanye shares with my dad. To bring this back, I don't really know. I mean, you get what I'm saying. But that mentality, because you're black. The problem with what Kanye West is doing and showing these lists of all the executives that are Jewish and that are not. The problem is he is only seeing race. That's the problem with most of us. We only see race. Even in the black community, light-skinned people, I've been called light-skinned, and not even just in like, hey, you light-skinned. Like I've been kind of pressed sometimes, purely because of my skin, by black people, because I'm mixed, and not even that mixed. I'm like slightly mixed. I look more fucking Egyptian than anything else. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that far off from just being African. I'm just a little lighter. So it's not even that. And also both my parents are black too. They're just lighter people. It's not even that like, I don't know. It's not even that crazy of a mix. You know what I mean? But even me, I've been impressed by it, by people because of it. At malls in Inglewood, same malls that rappers have died in. Damn, dude, sucks. But okay. The point I was making. Inglewood has a lot of places where people have died. Inglewood's, it's pretty crazy. It's crazy over there, dude. Okay, it's crazy. But the point is, when Kanye West is showing all these lists, he has race is on his mind primarily. The second thing that's on his mind is money. How much money he has. And the third, and all the way down on the bottom, is everybody else. None of anything Kanye West is saying has any advice. It's always this and this and this and that. These people at the top. These people aren't letting me get there. These people are here. These people are there. This is what they've been doing. This is what their mind, they're messing with your mind about. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. You haven't been silenced. You just told me everything you want us to know. What do we do? And then that's where Kanye gets silent. That's where most rich people get silent. What do we do? You gave us a list of all the people that are at the top. You told us the reasons why they won't let you get there, which is a lie because he was there. He just wanted too much. By the way, he was that. I don't know. I think people forget that Kanye West, one of the richest people alive. He was at one point. I think he still is. I think they're lying about that. I think one of the richest people alive, at the top. Yeezy, great. And then he did all this, and now Yeezy's not where it used to be. But I bet you it will still get there. I bet you will get there. It will. He'll do it by himself, and eventually will get there. He does all this. Oh, let me stop this recording real quick so it doesn't mess up. Okay, all right. Is it going recording? Okay, good. All right, sorry, I had to pause there. Whenever I record with Audacity, because I don't trust it to go full, complete hour, whatever I do, or no matter what I'm recording with Audacity, because I've been fucked many times, I just pause like 30-ish minutes in and just save, even though like kind of breaks the conversation, not whatever I'm having, the conversation with myself. I still do it just because I just don't trust it anymore. I've been too many times. I've been fucked with. What I was saying though, the whole point I was trying to make about Kanye is that he's way too focused on race. And when you see this cycle, I'll call it, that Kanye West is showing us, where all these companies and all of this are owned by these types of people, that types of people, and you see the cycle and you say, okay, well, all these people own this much and no one else does. And you see the cycle and your brain goes, okay, after saying all that, seeing, oh, okay, these companies and this money is going here, the cycle ends and you go, okay, well, they're all Jewish. That must be the problem. But that's not the problem. That's not the problem. If you, after all this, all you see is race, then you really will never get out of that. The problem is that the money is going to just a couple people. That's the real problem. You know, you're seeing all this stuff about race when really you need to say, okay, they're up here with their money, very high up, imagine very high level, and we're all down here, and there's this big gap, right? And sometimes because of how big that gap is, you can't really see the steps or even imagine what it takes to get to a Kanye West level. Because number one, it takes luck. That's why a lot of us will probably never get there. That's why a lot of us will get rich. I bet a lot of people will get rich, especially through college, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, stuff like that. You'll get money. But even that, there's a huge gap to billionaires. Most people, more than most people, 99.99999% of us will never even come close to being a billionaire. And the fact that Kanye West is worth more than $500 million, just worth more than $500 million, who knows, you know, and that's just worth, you know, I bet he owns a bunch of shit that he could sell and make even more money. That gap sometimes is so big that we can't even understand, or we can, I'm not going to say people are stupid, but it's hard for us to even imagine the steps to get there. The process it takes to get to be as rich as Kanye, and how unfathomable it really is, and how crazy that he's at that level and that people above him are billionaires. And this gap is so big that I think a lot of us see it and go, well, what do they all have the same? Oh, they're Jewish. They're all the same. That's why. When really, I don't think that's it at all. The real reason they're there is you need to back it up. You need to see how high they are at level, and back it up and say, okay, how did they get there? How did they get there? They came up with a product. Okay, what was that product? And then you go back and see how they got there. I think more people need to focus on the money and how the process and what their process is to get that much money, and how you can do it too. And that's what I always miss by a lot of these people, and that's what Kanye will never tell you, or these rich people will never tell you, is how they got there. Kanye will yell and yell and yell about the people who are at the top, about how he is also at the top, but not the most top like he wants to be or deserves to be for no reason. He'll tell you that, but he'll never tell you how to get there exactly. Excuse me. They'll never tell you how to help yourself. That's why I think is way more important than a conspiracy. It's not really a conspiracy. All you have to do is try to figure out how to do that for yourself. Okay, and when you start figuring that out, when you start working on that, you're going to forget what race or what religion any of these people follow, because it doesn't matter. You think the executive of one of those companies Kanye was showing, who isn't Jewish and is a Christian, let's say, you think he gives a fuck that any other executive is any other religion or race? No, because he's there. He is an executive. That's what we all forget, and that's the problem. We're all not, we hope most of you listening to this probably aren't billionaires, but we're so far down money wise and tax bracket wise that we have in our heads, for some reason, we need to find something that correlates. Well, they're all this, they're all that, when it doesn't actually matter. When we are there, when we are an executive, do you think any of you would care, or myself, I would not care at all who else was also at the top with me, Because I'm there. I am an executive. I have the money. I'm there. It doesn't matter. You know, the only reason we focus on race is because we're in that gap. We're so far in that gap down that it does matter to us. Every little thing matters to us. When a billionaire does this, says this wrong thing, oh, he's mean, he blah 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 blah. We have to find something. When we get to that level, to that tax bracket, it all goes away. It all goes away. Because it's not about race, it's about your money. And when you get there, nothing matters. It doesn't actually affect Kanye, what he's saying. It doesn't actually affect him. Okay? Them being Jewish, them not being Jewish, them being whatever, part of any conspiracy he's talking about. By the way, he also talked bad about black people. We also need to stop supporting him. I know I said that earlier, but it's a good point. Okay? And we need to stop supporting Kanye. He continuously talks bad about black people, even before any of this. Okay? It's bad, but aside from that, when you are there, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Rich people don't care what other rich people look like. They care how much money you have. That all goes away when you get there. The problem is, none of us are there, so we all think it does matter. When to rich people, it's funny that they think that it's funny to them. Trust me, I've talked to very rich people before. It's funny to them that we are sitting around at the fucking bottom of the totem pole acting as if they care about their race. They are so past that point. They're so focused on just making money, they don't give a fuck. Okay? Rich people do deals with everyone across the fucking globe if it makes them money. They don't care. The only reason we care is because we're so far down that gap that we need to make sense of why they're all up there. Oh, well, they're all up there. It's the temporary rich thing. You know, the temporary rich is that Americans aren't, it's that thing. Americans aren't rich. Americans aren't poor. They're just millionaires waiting to be. They're just waiting millionaires, whatever the fuck it is. And that's very true. We're all just waiting to be there. But while we're down here, we're fighting. When in reality, I think we all need to just step back and realize it doesn't fucking matter. And what only matters is how much money you have. The fact that Kanye is even able to get on TV. I mean, really think about this. Kanye West is able to get on multiple TV shows after he said the most foul shit you could say on TV. He's able to get on multiple podcasts. The only one he didn't get on was he got on there, they just didn't air, was the LeBron show. LeBron, his fucking show of where he gets like 6 other black people to talk about how rich they are in barber chairs. His long ass legs can't even fit, didn't even look right in the fucking chair. Where he just gets a bunch of other rich black people to talk about how rich they are and how they got there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them. And the only reason that podcast didn't go up, because again, while LeBron's probably listening to Kanye talk, he doesn't care because he is there. The only reason that didn't get aired, they said, is because other people on the production, poor people, the real people working, the poor people who aren't these rich people in the circle, were like, this is horrible. But guess what? He did it. He did the whole show. There's a whole hour-long thing of him talking to LeBron and somewhere out there. He did the whole show. The only people who felt uncomfortable with it were not black people, not white people, poor people. The real people working on the show said, this is fucked up. Don't let Kanye talk like this. And they had to throw it away. They had to. The executive at whoever, HBO, whoever, is that person, didn't give a fuck if that aired or not. He would have loved it to air. It's all money to him. It's all money. He would have loved that to air. That's all views and more people subscribing to HBO. The only reason he didn't is because regular people thought this is bullshit. But LeBron and the rest of the people, whoever you had on that panel that day, sat there and listened to the whole thing. They didn't come out on Twitter and say anything about it. The executive at HBO said, we're not airing this. Okay, that's who said it. That's what I'm saying. it doesn't matter what race and this and that. You get so bogged down in that. What matters is your money. You think a rich Jewish person listening to Kanye going, oh my God, getting his feelings hurt. No, not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. He doesn't care because he is there. He's there. He is rich. He's there. That's what it does. That's the whole point. Kanye West will never tell you how to get there, because guess what? When you are there and you are at the point Kanye is at, in money, in everything, in status, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only people it matters to is us, the poor people. And unfortunately, because he's a musician, we are the same people who are supporting him and built him up. So when he says all this, he knows that it matters to us, when it really shouldn't, like I said, but it matters to us. It matters. It matters to us that the person we supported and liked, whose music we loved, is now saying something. Unfortunately, it's bad, but it matters to us, and he knows that. But he also knows that to the people above him, who just let him go whenever they want, it doesn't matter to them. It only matters money. That money is the only thing that matters, especially to Kanye. That's all he talks about. That's his bottom line, is this, that, and this. But every time he talks, it's, and they owe me money. And you guys should make me a billionaire again. Because he knows that matters only. He just wants to get back to being a billionaire. It has nothing to do with, he doesn't actually care who's Jewish, who's not, the conspiracy, blah, 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 blah. It's advertising for Yeezy. He wants people to know that Yeezy is independent, and that if you buy Yeezy, when he starts to bring them out again, you're supporting him. That's what he wants you to know. All of this has nothing to do with anything, except he wants you to know that if you buy Yeezy, you're supporting me. And a bunch of people support him. A bunch of people don't care. He just wants to get back to being rich, because he knows all this controversy matters to us and will get him higher up in the news cycle. It will get him more money when he tours. Hate will get him money. He knows this. Everyone who's saying, oh, it's a mental break, it's not. He's doing this on purpose. You don't have to give him the time of day, unfortunately, because it matters to us. Because we're not rich, we are the poor people who support him, because it matters to us, even though it shouldn't. We do view everything he says. We listen to everything he says, because again, quote unquote, matters to us. When the executives have dropped him, it doesn't matter. They know they'll make their money back. Skechers said no, because it doesn't matter to them. But if Kanye West went to a much smaller company and said, hey, can you guys do Yeezy? You think you could do this Yeezy thing with me? Because I've been fucked up. I've been fucked off all these other companies. They will do it, because they're a company that would gain a lot from him. And at one point, Adidas was that company that would gain a lot from him, but they don't gain a lot from him anymore. Money is the only thing that matters. Okay, I don't know how else to put that, but maybe it sounds disjointed, but the whole point is that he wants to become a billionaire again. That's the only thing that matters to Kanye. That's all he talked about when he was. That's all he's still talking about when he's trying to get back. He does not care. He saw this as a lane to get in the news. He saw this as a lane to let everyone know Yeezy is independent. He saw this as an opportunity to shop it around. Recently he saw this opportunity to walk back a couple of things he has said. And again, I don't even think he walked them back because, he found out, he realized in his head it was bad. No. He walked them back because he sees the tides turning, and he sees, okay, well, I'm getting a little crazy. People see it. All right, let me go back. It doesn't matter. He'll say anything. Kanye West, if he sees the money in it, sees the opportunity, he will say anything. Like I said, he still owns Yeezy, the brand name. He still makes money off of Yeezy. He's still, he's like, I forgot how much they said he was worth, but he's still worth almost $600 million. $600 million. Think about that. This man is worth $600 million. And we're over here trying to help him become a billionaire. There are literally people helping Kanye trying to become a billionaire. You can't talk to me if you're trying to give money and trying to help Kanye become a billionaire again. Remember, he did this to himself. If Kanye West was any other person, we would just laugh. But because it matters to us, for some reason, even though it matters to us what Kanye West has said, he's here. When, if he was any other person, he'd be gone. We wouldn't give a fuck about him. He'd be gone. My phone again. It's not my teacher. Yeah, it definitely sounds disjointed, but the whole point is money only matters to Kanye, and he will say anything to get in the public's eye. His kids, that whole thing. Again, you don't know Kanye as a person. There could be a lot more going. You know, it's funny. You see all this, and I wonder if those people. So you see all this happen, and Kanye West is talking all this bullshit. I wonder if the people who said they took Kanye's kids away, why'd they do that? Why'd they do? I wonder if they're in their heads going, "Well, maybe this is why. Maybe he talks like this at home. Maybe that's why. Could be. I mean, those kids, whenever you see them with Kim, they seem pretty happy. I don't know. Well, that's that whole thing. Damn. Yeah, that was just oof. After seeing that Takeoff die, and then also seeing Kanye in the same news cycle, and Kanye, the news was Kanye something, Elon Musk something, Takeoff died, and then the other third one was DaBaby, and then you click on Takeoff dying, and it's not even rest in peace Takeoff. It's black men shouldn't be shooting. It's not even about him anymore. It's just the news cycle. Just seeing that was like, just made me go, what the fuck? You can't, like, Kanye West is more trending than Takeoff, who died because he's having a conversation with Elon Musk at some point. And Takeoff is just barely more important than DaBaby saying more shit about gay people. It's like, what the fuck are you what are we doing? What is this? Man, I don't know why the gay community even said, let DaBaby apologize. You know, don't do that, LGBTQ community plus community. Don't do that. Don't let him get away with that. That's not cool. He said a lot of bad things about gay people. Shit that should be done. That should have been done. Being said in the 80s. Should have been done. He brought it back. Don't do that, dude. Don't do that. Dude, I'm just purely getting into my my roots of growing up on the beach. Come on, dude. That's how you know I'm really passionate about something. When I start saying dude, I'm like, come on, don't let him do that, dude. But seriously, gay, other gay people, don't let DaBaby get away with that, man. Come on. Yeah. All right, now I'm getting messages on my phone. I'm gonna have to end this. I got people to talk to. Oh man, what a great talk. Bye-bye.